Live tonight on American Zombie once again. So, tonight I'll be talking about in the second part of Forbidden History. How much do we really know? The Anubis Sphinx theory. I'm not sure how many people have heard of this theory, but this researcher, I got to give him a lot of credit for going out on an edge and looking at the structure of the Sphinx, knowing that it was buried, they had to unbury it, and how it resembled more of the Anubis statue. So a canine instead of a feline. And when you look at it, it really makes a lot more sense. A guardian of the pyramids, in this picture. When you look at a statue of Anubis sitting, very similar. The paws, the back end, the whole way it's just positioned. Very close and possibly could be Anubis. We know that ancient civilizations, there's such a mystery that people aren't told. They look from the sky like computer chips, like maybe it was a layout so that somebody else could look at it from atop and re-engineer the circuits that we see that are being used in electronics today. Movies and other uh, stuff are basically based on a lot of this stuff. Notice that Bali and Mexico, Central America, have the same, well, similar deity, similar pyramid structure. The doorways on the top. We see that the Ankh, the Egyptian Ankh, is very similar. Like Nikola Tesla's electric oscillator was most likely re-engineered from the correct interpretation of what the Ankh actually meant. Cathedrals today, if you look at the floor of the cathedral, hidden messages, forbidden history. Tasha, good to see you. Always. Yeah, this is real encoded knowledge into structures. Mr. X, how you doing? Are there? Yeah. Hope everything's all right.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Good to be on. Just joining in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was showing how the Anubis theory for the Sphinx was something that is, not really well known, but this guy really makes a good argument for this. It's not even an argument. He's presenting the evidence that shows that this was more likely a canine instead of a feline guarding
Mm.
the pyramids. And the structure is more towards a canine sitting, the Anubis statue, very close to the Sphinx posture. And then I go, I was showing how ancient electronics could have been re-engineered through, like how they might have left the knowledge for this coded in an aerial way, where once somebody realized that they could see it and re-engineer the electronics possible. The oscillator, very similar to the Ankh. Cathedrals having patterns on the bottom. I forgot the name of this researcher that actually engineered this. He re-engineered it, basically. I think we got Jose up in the house. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just jumping in with you guys right now to I think Mr. X is here with us as well, and I'm just, bro, I'm happy to see you. You streamed the show earlier today already, and you're back at it. I'm like, wow, man, you're
Yeah,
on fire with
it's
American
great.
Zombie, right? Like that's
Good
what I'm saying,
stuff.
right? Yeah, this is amazing. Like I'm just really happy for you, brother. I'll be back in a bit. I'm just I was hopping on to keep it going, but you needed a break for a minute. I'll be back.
Yeah, cool, man.
If I can just mention one thing, MD, because
Mhm.
this it came to the top of my head. I've been to Coral Castle, and I highly advise you if ever come down to Miami to visit Coral Castle. I think you'd really love it. Um, but one thing at Coral Castle, he said he was dreaming of being back with his sweet 16. So, no matter which way you slice it, there seems to be some type of spiritual element. Because why do they have what looks to be the man of a head on an animal's body, whether it's a dog or so forth? It's got to be some type of spiritual entity that they were worshiping, because it doesn't. It seems like it goes beyond the physical at this point. Half man, half animal. That's the only way I can see making sense of any of this stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, well, some of it I think is not really fully interpreted yet. So like
Hmm.
there's a lot of stuff that when we look at it, we're getting interpretations that we really got to start to look to interpret ourselves. Like when you look at this from the aerial, the fact that there's a guy that re-engineered the pattern to show
Hmm.
that this is working an electronic circuit. This is Washington. I think I don't know if it's DC, but it's definitely a Capitol building. I think it is Washington DC with the owl configuration on the landscape, with the roads going in on the bottom, like the tail feathers, and then the body of the owl, the Capitol building up by the chest, and then the eyes, or on top. This we already know that it seems that here at Australia, they show you a picture with the water level lower. So you can see how it connected. It connected upwards to other islands, just like going up to Malaysia here, um, into mainland China, actually. I think they used to call this the Golden Cheronees. So we have that. Um, the fossils that were found. When they say that this is strata, you got these things that go through it. They call it polystrata fossils or polystrate fossils. And this totally debunks. I mean, this when somebody looks at the whole dating method and they said the
Right.
layers were millions, this
That
just
debunks it right there.
yeah,
That
exactly.
was instantaneously. It looked like
Yeah,
it happened instantaneously to this tree. It was just fossilized immediately.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the insanity to say that the tree got fossilized a little at a time. They actually try to say that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What, billions of years the tree just sat there in perfect condition and just kept
Yeah,
getting
and then
fossilized?
little
No.
by little got fossilized as the dirt grew on top of it. It's like, come on.
Hmm.
I mean, this is a single event. Um, Also, when I spoke of the potter wheel of Canum, that was uh, that was another one. Um, Mark, good to see you, man. Yeah, man, definitely. Sanctuary Seeker, what's up, bro? If you want to hop on, man, we got the link pinned to the top of the chat, bro. Definitely, we're going over like ancient civilizations. This here, the potter, the Potter's Wheel of Canum. There's another one of these. I gotta find it. I used to have it in my files on human creation. If you look, and of course, they tried to chisel this out of the wall. They desecrated it and all of that, but the shadow part still exists, and it looks. It's called the Potter's Wheel of Canaan. So when they talk about creating human off, from dust and clay, and basically elemental materials, and now you see this small, what appears to be human being on the potter's wheel, what they refer to it as, and the amphibian feminine goddess to the right holding the ankh, like if she's going to feed the ankh, the ankh of life. We're not really sure what these are. I mean, or the energy, like we saw in the Tesla coil here, the ankh might be some type of energetic device that may have sparked something to animate this this human. On the left is Kanum, yeah, and both of them have humanoid bodies with
Hmm.
animal heads. Kanum, I think, is like a not a ram, but it's like antelope type. So I think the movies too are are also like they're using stuff from history to tell a story as if it was fantasy, but it could actually be real. When you
Right.
see the Mongolian queen here, this is what Padme from Star Wars was modeled after. Princess
Hmm.
Leia was modeled after, it seems to be the Hopi maidens that would curl their hair in the way that Princess Leia had hers, but just a little higher above the ear, not over the ear. Um, just very similar to the Lady of Elche. That statue was found in, I think, Spain. So we have, I found something, I took pictures of the top artifact in the
Oh
museum,
wow, that's a good one.
right? Looks just like a stormtrooper, man. So
Jeez.
I was like, man, this is very similar. And I found another one here that looked just like it too. So you have two different ones that have a stormtrooper look. And as I went further and I looked at certain symbols like the what they would refer to as the Star of David, it also represents the cube of Metatron. And that
Mm.
is in some religious books. I think the Book of Enoch, maybe. And it shows how it represents a three-dimensional cube as well. Also, in a two-dimensional form, it shows the hexagram, but it could be coded three-dimensional knowledge.
But what if it looked differently in a fourth dimension?
Yeah, exactly. Could be that definitely makes sense. I mean, so
Hmm.
many things are hidden within different things.
Yeah.
Um, wow. Jose said the Jack of Spades holds an Ankh. I didn't know that.
I
Wow, in
didn't
the
know that
cards.
either.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, whenever you get a chance, man. Always good to see you, man. Yeah. And then I was looking into mimics. Like when you look at the fact that there's caterpillar mimics that actually will change color according to the color of the or the stem of the tree that they're on. This is an experiment done with sticks. And not only does it change the color toward it, it also looks like a stick.
Mhm.
They have moths. This moth looks like a chipped piece of a stick. Two moths back to back, actually. And this moth is mimicking a bird dropping. So I mean, when you just look at just the I mean, this is the mimic part is just, yeah, it's shocking, man. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
The evolutionists will say, "Oh, it just happened over millions of years by chance, and this is
Yeah,
what happened." Bullshit.
by chance.
BS.
It's just,
BS.
yeah, it's just to think this happened by chance is just, yeah,
It's
it's
order
ridiculous.
and design, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's staring right in your face unless you just want to deny the truth for whatever reason. I don't know. So these
Mhm.
guys are just, they're not stupid, but at the same time they're kind of zombified because they're not really benefiting from the evolutionary process. It doesn't really
Mhm.
help them out any. So they're just mimicking what they've been told. So well, they're not stupid. They are zombies too at the same time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. I
The
think they're
X,
yeah.
mhm. The X-Men
No.
cartoon, I noticed the
Hmm.
Sentinels look very close to the Olmec heads from Mexico.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, it's a very, very like so many things encoded into cartoons and other like stuff that we see, movies and stuff like that. Um, I had this was something from the evolution thing where they try to say the fossil was a transition between a reptile and a bird, and then all of the different colored stones, the yellow, the light orange, the green, these were different pieces of rocks that were put together to forge this fossil. So fossil forgeries exist abundantly in the evolution religion to show people like, look, this is they don't want us to see the real history. Now,
No.
of course, yeah, they'll say, okay, this is See, this is where I was saying that the Genesis story and other things have to go further. When you look at this, it's like, wait a minute, this is two beings creating the human potter's wheel of Canaan. And
Hmm.
when you look at the King James version saying, let us create him in our image. So now you're seeing it makes a little more sense because you have two beings here. Let us create him, the being that they're bringing into existence in their in their image. So it's possible. I'm just trying to put the
Well,
pieces together. Yeah.
but the one thing we can derive from this, it doesn't matter your religious beliefs. What we can all agree upon is the creation of human beings happened instantaneously. It wasn't over some crazy long billions of years of simple celled organisms evolving to a higher order. We know that's BS. We know it happened based on science, by the way, that it happened instantaneously. All the pieces had to come together instantaneously, knowing the complexity of the human body, more complex than even science today understands. So it had to come together instantaneously. We know that now.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, that's without a doubt. Yeah. That's where it converges. The fact that we can see different types of belief converge scientifically
Hmm.
with hard evidence and documentation, where some people will just try to dismiss it as myth or something, but we're saying, hey, this is the records from all of our ancestors that makes a lot of sense, more sense than the evolutionary uh, roll of the dice, so
Yeah,
say.
which isn't even scientific because you're believing in time,
Yeah,
making all these changes and abiogenesis. They've never been able to show non-life creating life, but they
yeah,
say no, that's pure science. Well, no, it's not. It hasn't been shown. So it's like who's the unscientific one here? The creationist or the evolutionist? I would argue the creationist has way more science
mhm,
involved in their theory than the evolutionist.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
very, very much more. It's like it's undeniable. It comes to a point where it's very undeniable because when you look at just the genetic structure,
Hmm.
then you look at the mathematical probability, and the mathematical probability of just amino acids forming a protein, say a 10-20 chain protein, um, you're going into the trillions, beyond the trillions of combinations to get that by
Hmm.
chance. And that's just for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is like to create that by chance. It is not probable. Anything's possible, but there are many things that aren't probable. And when you look at that with reason and logic, you start to say, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, and then there's things that, I've noticed a lot of the guys, like how you were saying breakfast taco and stuff, they try to
Hmm.
immediately throw out there like, oh, facts that dispute evolution, as if, oh, you're going to talk about irreducible complexity and stuff like that. And it's like, well, irreducible complexity is real. You can't take one of the components out of blood clotting and have something evolve that way. No, that has to be put together all at once. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
And I'll ask them too. Well, no, they say it's been proven wrong. Michael B. He's a fraud. Okay, well, where was it proven wrong? Well, you can Google search it. Okay, here we
exactly.
go.
And
So that's why I don't
yeah,
debate them seriously. If you go on that show again, do not debate them seriously. Don't go
yeah,
on there.
no, yeah,
It's a waste
I
of
can't
time.
even. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
You could
no,
have you could
no,
state your points in your channel just to get that out there, but don't ever take them seriously in a debate. Just look at them for who they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With them, it's really it's no sense even going on there. I mean, they're
Mhm.
at a point where it's like it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. I
Well, you can always
photographed.
overtalk them, though. You can always overtalk them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they kind of. I mean, they tried
Yeah.
to. I mean, they paid to have me muted, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this isn't about truth
Hmm.
or seeking or trying to find an answer. This is about them, muting people.
Yeah,
And
but you can always get exposure for, you know what I mean? Good. Some exposure is better than no exposure. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So,
mhm,
and there's always
yeah,
people listening there who are not. agreeing with them. So,
Hmm.
it's just,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
that's all it's about. It's not about,
Hmm.
they're going to act like asses. You're going to go on there. If you have a debate with them, they're going to act like a bunch of asses. They're going to straw man your arguments. They're going to be disingenuous completely. They're going to overtalk you, use insults, but that's okay. You know what I mean? You go there,
Hmm.
say, look, I got a channel. We discuss these things. Come on, if you like, we can debate.
Exactly.
It's fine. You know,
Yeah,
it's
man.
better than some of the other fools we got. I mean,
Yeah,
so that's all I'm looking at it as. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Jake,
Yeah.
what's up, bro? We got
Hey,
Jake here.
Jake.
MD Mr. X, man. OGs in the house, man. How you guys doing?
Hanging
Pretty
in
good.
there. Good, good. How you doing, Jake?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just working a lot and just got done with work a little while ago and just saw you guys were live and man, American Zombie, MD, I'm glad, man. We're having a good American Zombie show, man. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I um I took some pictures in the museum of these artifacts here that are labeled flying fish. So the museum called these flying fish pendants from Colombia between the 10th and 15th century. So 500 to 1,000 years old, basically. And when I photographed them from different angles, like I got a close up here, they don't look to me like flying fish pendants. I mean, somebody could label them that. They look, honestly, they look like flying planes.
So I was gonna say, it looks like a jet to me.
Yeah, and it looks like they have these aerodynamic swirls on the wings. I got a picture of a close up of this one here. I mean, this is to say that this is a flying fish pendant really shows me that um, they are playing serious mind games with people.
Yes.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So, I said, let me present that. And then as I was looking further, I found an artifact that it was, it was actually a carving on the temple wall that they have in the museum. And it looked, it looked like that dinosaur that they say has the long neck and the flippers. I think they call it an elasmosaurus. So I colored it in with art as and then I had it in an article. So I looked at that and I said, man, there's petroglyphs or hieroglyphs they would call us of these so-called ancient or extinct dinosaurs, basically what they call, or animals. Animals could be a better word.
Oh, I thought it looked like that dude's wife that looks like a trash bag with the triple chins.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
yeah. No, we don't want to YouTube. We got to stay within the YouTube
Oh, all
guidelines.
right, my bad. What's that guy's
Yeah,
name, dude? I forgot. I was trying to think of
yeah.
it.
I just yeah. Well, I just won't even. Yeah,
Oh,
we just
all right,
yeah,
fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm better behavior. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, well, to stay within YouTube guidelines, we're just basically they say to stay on the topic, and we're not saying anything bad about anybody.
A golden retriever, you call it a woman?
It's because we don't want we want to have the stream stay up, and be okay.
All right, I'll try to tone it down. I'm sorry.
This is this right here on the bottom is the painting from I think around the 15th century, the glorification of the Eucharist, and then on top is overlaid artwork that enhances it a little to get a better look at what it could be, like a satellite. Basically, it looks very much to a satellite.
Mm.
Yeah, that the Oscar is very similar to the statue of Ptah, and
That's why I keep thinking this isn't a human behind this. There's got to be some spiritual element to this because humans just aren't capable of this. They're only alive for so long, you know what I mean, on this planet. So it's got to be something that that is not subject to time that can
mhm.
influence the different cultures there. So obviously, these things, all these objects are meant to be worshipped. Obviously, like the Oscar, it's meant to be worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
You win an Oscar, it's like you've won gold. You've won the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's still the same thing. We're worshiping these deities, and they put them into awards or into paintings that are world famous, so forth. Even the
Yeah.
Star Wars movie, we're worshiping the same deities by being Star Wars fanatics.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars, the movie worship is just ridiculous. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what the mind games, MD? How they say like, oh, this is a flying fish pendant. One thing I always think of is like when I was a kid, we went to a museum for a field trip, and they had this like pyramid, like exhibit, and they had these like logs that they supposedly rolled these blocks, on these logs, and then they just made all these ramps and had like thousands of slaves pulling these blocks with ropes over these logs that would roll, and like that's how they built the pyramids. And I'm like, dude, what a mind game to try to teach you wrong at a young age so you don't think that there's any other possibilities. You know what I mean? Like just complete mind games, man, trying to steer you in the wrong direction.
Well, Coral Castle disproved that, Jake. You can look up at Coral Castle in Florida and in Homestead, Florida. That
Yeah.
disproves all of that. He did it all by himself, one little man, and he said, "I knew the secrets of the pyramids." He says it right
With
on there.
with one little black box that was always there, but by his rigging equipment, and no one knew what was inside that black box.
Hmm. Yeah. So we know that story's not true at all. 100% now.
Yo, do you guys see Jose figured out how to put an avatar on there instead of the plain old J? Like, whoa, Jose, man, congratulations on learning how to use technology. I thought I was a worth pay. Round of applause for Jose, everybody. Thank you very much.
That's the Ankh, right? On the Joker, on the Jack.
Yeah, on the Jack of Spades, the Jack of Spades holds the Ankh. So it's kind of interesting because with you bringing up that part from earlier about the what the Ankh was and stuff, it made me realize that because I had seen it, and I always wondered what the heck this symbol actually was. So when you explain like that this is the Ankh and what it is, it's like technology from the past. It just gets you to realize like technology. So to bring in Jake making this his joke, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, me using technology, right? It's just that's what this is. The fact that I'll put an avatar on, instead of the default thing with the J, it's whatever, man. But it's a thing.
Even monkeys can do it.
It's a reality. I mean, you can make fun of an ape, Jake, but I mean, they observe things and they learn, and you in a way are very similar in that essence. Like you pretty much. That's why they have to say, right? Monkey see, monkey do. You know.
Dude, I seen a monkey on a scooter. Have you?
I mean, when you look at the stuff that they have chimpanzees doing,
You know that's funny.
with chimpanzees doing like screen push, screen buttons, and this is like they've done this for decades, where they're saying that you can flash certain patterns of numbers, and a chimpanzee will be able to repeat those numbers by touching the screen quicker than humans. So there's actually certain things that chimps can do in repeating certain, like you flash different numbers in a certain pattern, and it will remember that quicker than a human remembers it. So when we look at some of these experiments that they do, I mean, it's really surprising. I mean, you look at the animal intelligence of some animals, like we were showing the mimics and stuff like that. I mean, how do you even, I mean, there's no way that that's just going to happen by chance.
I wonder who would win, a human, or actually even better, a monkey versus Jose in that.
No, come on, Jake, man. We're trying to keep this a serious show, bro. Come on, man.
Oh,
I mean, this is like, it's like, why even, this is why I'm not doing the dating thing anymore or nothing like that, man. This is not a circus, man. Come on.
I wasn't a serious question. I just wonder who would win.
It's not a serious question, man. You're clowning,
That's
it's really disrespectful, man.
I was just trying to make it entertaining. I won't say
it's not entertainment. This is education, man.
Right? I mean, come on, man. You got to realize MD's doing a serious show.
No, I don't. It's just. Ezra, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hello, MD. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we were going over some of the stuff here with I
Hey,
had
can I just mention
something.
real quickly about the Fibonacci numbers? Because I heard like almost every little, I can't remember where I heard it from, but Fibonacci numbers can be found in almost everything. Is that, you know?
Well, and that's another thing too, that they put the Fibonacci thing trying to say, okay, this is credited to this person, but I had a picture that showed, I'd screenshotted it just so make it easier. It says here that the the natural sequence, basically, because that's what it would be scientifically. It was first known to be described by a guy named Pingala in Sanskrit poetry, the Chandra Satra, around 3rd to 2nd century BCE. So 22 to 2300 years old. And honestly, it's probably older. And that he used the formula to count syllable patterns in poetic meters. So that was the so-called oldest account of this natural sequence. And then there was another person that actually, it was an Indian mathematician, Virahanka, in 700 AD, they say. And then there was another one, Hemachandra, in 1150 AD, that expanded and popularized the sequence within India. Fibonacci introduced this to Western mathematics through his book in 1202. And his role was primary as popularizer rather than the original discoverer. So, as far as what we know, Pingala is the oldest source of that. And then we saw how it went to two other guys that had brought it forth, which today, again, because we're uncovering, we want to make sure, okay, these things are older than what we're told. Kind of like how, I talked about certain religious things being, um, you know, yeah, it just, me, you know, I try to, I try to say that I want this to stay serious, and it just,
I didn't say anything on the stream. Come on,
bro, I don't even want to hear it, man. I mean, if you're drinking, go out, have fun with your friends, man. Don't come here and like mess the stream up, That's just so, when I was showing the like this, I have to admit the person that discovered this, that this imagination is like really, really deep, when you think about it. Like to look at it on the left before it's shaded lightly on the left, medium in the middle, and dark on the right. So yeah. So we have this here, which it's pretty odd. I don't think it's a coincidence like we talked about with some of the other things. Like when I took these pictures, these are actually from the Dominican Republic. And I said they look oddly like stormtroopers, They look oddly like stormtroopers. Mr. Super Sidewinder, man, good to see you, bro. Always, man. Just so do you have a full picture of that Jack, Jose, or holding the Ankh?
Yeah. I probably could retake it just to like have a little bit more clearness into the pic, like to have
Uh-huh.
it to stuff. Yeah. Let me try to see if I can do that actually. Oh.
Sorry, I missed that. I had a phone call.
Oh,
Oh
all
boy,
right.
it's too bad about Jake. I mean, I love Jake, but it's a different show, so
I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. The whole thing is staying within the guidelines, and
sure.
that's like when it gets a little serious.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's cracking down on the little guy. I stress little guy, because it's selective stress, selective. But yeah, we just have to be careful. And I agree. But yeah, I also agreed with one guy who brought up Rumble one time. You know, you may want to check that out too for streaming services because
Hmm.
they're pretty liberal as far as that goes. At least now there's been some other options coming out. Not like
Yeah.
in 5 years ago where we had nothing. So
Hmm.
there's a will, there's a way. It can be done. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely hear you, man. It's yeah, I was wondering, there was a lot of guys that, I guess they come and they go on different you know, like there was a guy 2 more years to civilization. I remember
mhm.
he used to pop in a lot. Yeah, I
That's why
had.
going on another stream like Breakfast Tacos, you can say whatever you want because you don't have to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? There
Yeah,
you can just use their platform for your benefit. Just go all out with things you won't dare say here. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? You got to weigh everything. There's some
It's
advantages
surprising.
to everything.
I wonder, it's like, how do they get away with it? It's like I'm
Hmm.
trying to stay within certain parameters, and I see other people that just they go all out. I mean, we back in the Smash days, we'd be able to say stuff, but
Well, I think it's all related to that other group that's, you know, that
mm,
it starts with True. That guy, I can tell right off the bat, they're the type of people that do this stuff.
yeah,
That's just, first off, they don't sound, let's just say like an arrow is straight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that they're the kind of guys that play around like this. They probably just flooded it with all kinds of crap, and they had to look into it and review everything. That's what happened. You know what I mean?
mm,
Because when they come on here, even that other guy, educated. I mean, he just shoots his mouth off and just says whatever he wants to. I mean, they're gonna get you
yeah.
into trouble. They're gonna get you into trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Again,
That's their
man, the
goal.
zombies, man, the zombies. It's
Yeah.
like they just the whole dating and other genres,
Hmm.
relationship and stuff like that. It's a whole different thing, man. This is on a different level that goes above a lot of that. Not to say that it's not important, but you got two different things. If you're going to watch a basketball game, you don't want to hear about baseball, and
They
that's
don't see
just
it that way. They just see you and scribe, and they say game on. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the difference. They're not. You can tell by talking to them. They're not too bright. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's.
these actually were holes that were found in certain rocks, and it's like you look at the way
Mm,
these were made, and it really makes you wonder, man.
wow.
Jose's back.
Yeah, man, it's just, the whole thing with technology, right? I mean, you see the way everything in, existence in modern society is shaped by technology. So you look at like I think that, when Mr. X was talking about earlier about how you can't avoid a connection of something that seems supernatural. And I don't know, like there's something to like even with the recognition of the spade or something like because when you look at the four suits in poker, you have right like heart, which I feel like is a semblance of health. You look at diamonds, which is a semblance of fortune. The clubs is kind of like nature, right? Because their clubs are literally like, and then you think what is like the spade, which is considered the royalty. Like spades have like a semblance of, it just means like the most powerful, like the authority almost, right? Like in the sense of like it almost because it's the strongest, it's like it's labeled as the strongest suit. You wonder like why would that be, right? And you think about how like it seems the way the landscape of our world gets shaped as if
Mhm.
something, from another world was influencing it and maybe even possessing. So it has that. And I just think about this Ankh thing, right? Like the thing with like that's why I was kind of like, this is perfect for this show because I'm just like, when I looked at these cards, right? Because I obviously, right, like I play and you look at the specifically the Jack of Spades, he's holding the Ankh. You're like, what is that symbol? What is this tool? And it like you said, like you show in the pictures and stuff, right? It looks almost like it's like charging, right? Like it has like a magic wand. It has a very like it's the magic wand that the a sorcerer or spellcaster would wave, knowing how to conduct some type of thing. What does this all like, like come from, right? Like this kind of like this. intuitive essence to life and bringing things of like technology to influence reality. Like that's magic, right? Like that's kind of like to see like a real technological usage and creation of magic because of the power that technology enables us to have.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when you said that that was in the the card suit. Yeah, it's like wow. It makes me wonder why it was put in there.
It's a message. These things, everything has a message. You know, that's the amazing thing. You just realize if you look around enough to basically everything, you can see messages to be decoded by, you know, the the, the dimensions of the way that things are even crafted, right? Because you look at and it looks like a symbol of an eight in a way. It has like,
Yeah,
you know, it has the, you know, so and what is the eight? The eight is infinity. So infinity in the sense of never ending,
yeah,
and that's like that brings you to an awareness. I feel right, like that naturally would just bring a person to say, like, you know, like this stuff is deeper than just what it is. Like when you
yeah,
look at it.
yeah. It's much deeper. It's we showed the Tesla coil with the Ankh to the right. And you know, to me it might have been some type of encoded knowledge that people were deciphering, and that's how things were re-engineered to create what we see today, you know, from the steps of electricity. And they try to make it look like, oh, these guys were inventing things and
Can I
as
ask you, MB,
opposed.
about something?
Mhm. Yeah.
Because I know you've seen the bags that they hold. These like look like a little purse that they're holding. It's like a little bag. You've
Hmm.
seen those in these ancient statues, and you find them all around. Do you have any opinion on those things?
Yeah, I mean that's when you wonder, it's like what it seems to be either a bag that harvest is like a bag to contain the those pine cone type of
Hmm.
things that they harvest off of the trees, which could be the tree of life, could be something different, um, or a bag that holds some type of technology in it. And there it is. It's reoccurring. You see it in Ecuador. They have some carvings very, very similar to the ones from Sumer, with the deity with the bird head, like kind of eagle like head. When you look at that type of bird too, it's very eagle like, and yeah, you know, you kind of wonder what is that. Um, yeah, honestly, I can't give a definitive answer. Mehdi says the messenger, the handbag equals the messenger, the seven
Interesting.
stages. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be some type of knowledge that was brought to civilization. Yeah, even with today's tech, you're right. These holes, man, it's like the ones that I showed. It's yeah, I don't see how somebody's just gonna be able to do that. When I look at the re-engineering again, like we talked about, the cathedral floor seems to have been a schematic to recreate a type of circuit, basically, just like the aerial view from like this is from Persepolis, Iran. So in Iran, you have a layout that looks very similar to what a computer chip or certain type of electronic circuit would be. The Ankh is showing that the Nikola Tesla electric oscillator. So we're seeing that wow, that's very similar. Um, the similarity between cultures across continents, Egypt, Mexico, and Indonesia. I mean, this is definitely showing that it's not a coincidence. Worldwide network, movies taken from ancient artifacts and ancient artifacts that look like technology. When you look at stuff like this, it really Really makes you wonder, man. And this is the glorification of the Eucharist, 1600 AD. So you're looking at over 400 years old, and it looks like a satellite. It looks like technology. Tasha says we would probably be more advanced if we knew how they did things they did back then. Yeah, yeah. We definitely there's something that is governing all of this and releasing it at the pace that they can control it at. So they don't want to give up the power, basically, or unless it's something else that's behind the scene. It seems more to be something else behind the scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
no, I
Again,
remember we never got a definitive answer for those drones. Remember the drones?
the drones.
Yeah, the ones in the sky. Remember that there was those drones that they were like sighted all over, like in the northwest, right? Mm, No, northeast, my bad. Northeast. By your side of the, seeing the country, that there was like reports that they were like sighted, and like they even asked, like they literally, I think they asked like the president, like, no, yeah, yeah, we're looking into it, whatever.
Hmm.
Like what? And we
Yeah.
never were told what that was, like distractions and controlling narratives all the time, man.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of controlling narratives. Um, yeah, we were looking at some of the polystrata fossils that go through many layers of rock that they say formed millions of years at a time. The potter's wheel of Canaan. When you have artifacts like this that show what appears to be the creation of something, it's like, why would that be held back? You
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
you mentioned something with once I think a few shows ago about when it came to the idea of like the supernatural and a creator, right? That
Hmm.
there's a lot of like in religions that they have like the father son like kind of like analogy thing going on, but then there's a spirit, right? The spirit and the version of, I guess you would call it essence of God, like of saying like a spirit of God, right? Because that's what they call it, like a spirit.
Hmm.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what was to say that the spirit isn't the complement in the sense of right, like in the sense of like a spiritual I guess essence or something,
Hmm.
like we're like the human essence, we're human beings, we have
Hmm.
the male and the female that complements the other half. So what if the spirit, right, like what if the version of deity that's said to be spirit, and like you said, created in our image, right? So humanity born of the identity of the divine, but that there's both a male and a female like kind of dynamic that goes there. And the spirit being the birther, the creator, might be the feminine side. But even like to complement the part of saying, oh, like that there's a God that's the male masculine essence of that.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, a lot of things, that would be where you would have to build upon it and say, okay, what can you find that adds to that to build it
Hmm.
up even more? Because we're building it back from, we're trying to decipher from what they've put forth for us to believe in. And the more we look, the more we start to see these anomalies and say, wait a minute, this is, we have to do our own research. Like there was an artifact I found in the museum that looked like a microphone. And when I took the picture of it and then I have the bigger picture of it. But when I compared it to a modern microphone, I did this back in 2016, but it looks very similar. Now, there's other ones like this was an artifact from I think Central America or South America. It looks close to some type of breathing apparatus. These are not just one-off instances. These continually, they're continually being found. And the only thing I think that prevent people from really acknowledging this is zombie apocalypse type of thing. Like this carving is from India, and they look to be, it's like they're looking up at some beings that appear to be on a cloud, and then there's a smaller like ship or house with wings flying downward, and it's above the tree line, so you can see that this is in the sky. It just takes more and more research.
Yeah, it talks about a lot of like religious, I guess, like books and stuff have talked about like you know, spirits like dwelling in like our in our atmosphere, right? Like the skies, basically, right? So when you showing the picture of the India thing,
Yeah.
you like you said, like you have these like, what are these like divine beings that are in the sky, like, and what are they doing up there? So so then I'm thinking about the drones again.
In the Book of Enoch also talk about the spirits giving all that information to humans? Wasn't that in the Book of Enoch? All the knowledge of the building and the technology and so forth.
Some of it. I mean, I think they had Enoch measuring like stuff. I got to look through it again, but yeah, it was like, you know, and I think they were saying, Von Daniken was saying, like, Enoch was asking him, well, why do you want me to measure it? Well, why don't you measure it? You know, and he was thinking, he thinks Enoch is the one that measured the area to build the pyramids. But yeah, it's been a while since I looked into Von Daniken's theory on that. But it's something that requires further research. Definitely something that requires further research.
I think once you eliminate the evolutionary explanation of our existence, then it opens up the door to all these other supernatural entities, beings influencing us.
Yeah, many other things, like, and that's the thing. There's so many other things. It's like when you look at the diversity of animals and stuff like that on a planet, imagine, you know, it could be that diverse where they're even maybe battling with one another. Some of them might use humans as food. Some might use them as slaves. Some might use them as allies. And to think in this direction, it's like almost forbidden. I'm just looking for some other. I had this other.
I think it's deliberate. It makes you easy targets. If you're not in touch with your spiritual side, it makes you an easy prey. Because, like I said before, how do you know all the thoughts that go through your head are your own?
That's true.
What if it's another entity speaking to you? Like, say, even making somebody paranoid.
Yep. Exactly. It could be something implanted too.
Sure.
Yeah. These are some of the strata that was formed right away on Mount St. Helens. You know, that's showing that they weren't different layers formed over time. It was formed simultaneously. And some of these, you know, I'll have a stream probably, I don't know if tomorrow or possibly Monday, about like evidence like this, showing stuff about evolution that just, it debunks it, and hopefully it gets a person to think, you know. Yeah, I figured I'd do, you know, the other show was about an hour. You know, it's almost an hour now. Yeah, it's kind of tired. So yeah, I appreciate
great show though. Great
Thank
show.
you, MD. Great show.
Thanks, man.
Good to
Take
see you,
care.
everyone. Have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye.